My name is Robert Hamer. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer for Ron Marhofer Auto Family, family-owned dealership group in Northeastern Ohio. Well, we heard about from our integrator that was with our EOS group, and he had done work with your organization previously and had had a lot of positive feedback. So when we were looking for a partner to help us with the issues we were having, he recommended you. Probably emotionally, mentally, I would say overwhelmed would be a good um, explanation of it. And it was sort of a situation where we had a lot of turnover, a lot of issues with not being able to hire and staff the right people that matched the values of where we were, to having to then deal out the fallout of all of that. So you guys helped us pretty much align our values and our company culture to the ability to identify what we were looking for as far as candidates. So we're starting to see a major impact on that as far as affecting turnover, performance, things like that. Sure, absolutely. In fact, I think it actually exceeded what we were expecting. It was a pretty much custom tailored approach to what we were looking for. So, as I'd mentioned previously, we're looking to align the company culture, the company values, and our vision process to the type of people that we're looking for as candidates. And where we were at previously was largely spinning our wheels, going through a lot of candidates that weren't filtered out correctly, not getting the right candidates that we were looking for, putting a lot of labor and a lot of work in. So between rewriting and you're helping us to figure out how to better write our job descriptions and being able to post a job for a sales role that we were struggling with, to being able to then get better quality candidates, and then utilizing the training tools that we were able to put in place from the training that you guys did with us, to ask the right questions, to look for the right things, to put the right workflow in place to make sure that we were making good business decisions. So that was where the huge disconnect was for us, because we were very fragmented. Every manager was doing things a little bit differently. We were asking a bunch of different questions, not asking ones we should, probably asking ones we shouldn't. And this gave us a consistent process and a consistent workflow throughout our entire group, to where now all of the leaders are pretty much doing the same exact process, and we're seeing a lot more consistency. I would say the biggest thing that was the advantage was, before we even started putting any processes in place, you guys took the time to basically spend an entire day with me, getting to know us, getting to know the organization, getting to know what makes us unique, makes us successful, what makes us who we are, so that you were able to custom tailor a product to us. Everybody we've dealt with in the past was always of the approach of, oh, I've got the perfect thing, I've got it my way, just do it this way and everything will work out. Whereas you guys sat down and really got to know us and who we were, and what type of people are successful in our organization, what we have to offer that makes us unique, and really tailor an approach to us that was able to help us attract the right candidates and the right people, as well as build the confidence of our team in their ability to make decisions when making hiring decisions. My advice to them would be to stop and go backwards. Don't start with, okay, I need to fill this particular role, but go back and see what type of person would be successful in this particular role, and really identify what it is that are the values you're looking for in somebody that would be successful. And I think that was a big approach that this process has taught us, was how to go back and look at it from a different standpoint of, let me create a job description that's generic and then try to force a candidate to fit the job description, versus let's create what the perfect candidate would look like. And now let's tailor the job description to match that. And that would be really what I would recommend. And that was a reason that I've actually recommended you guys to other friends and stuff that I have in the business who are running into some of the similar changes and challenges that we have, which is maybe you're doing it the same way that everybody's always done it, which means you're always going to keep getting the same thing as everybody else. Probably the biggest feedback that we got was a comfort level, that people felt like it was okay to ask the right questions. They knew what the right questions to ask were. They felt safe taking the time to make the right decisions. They also felt safe utilizing the assessment process because there was a lot of things in the past where people were afraid to use a talent assessment because they were afraid that, oh, well, this might cause inadvertent discrimination or this might cause inadvertent issues. So they didn't know how to use the tools that were available to them. Same way with the interview questions. They were uncomfortable in some cases doing interviews from the standpoint of they were too afraid to ask what they really needed to know to get to know the person. So by us sort of handling some of those difficult situations and handling some of the role plays and some of that as we were going through the training, they knew how to deal with those things as they come up and how to ask the questions and how to ask probing questions and how to identify deeper and to what we're looking for versus just writing down whatever somebody says and moving on. That it's okay to keep asking and it's okay to keep digging if something doesn't seem right. In the terms of tangible measurables, the first one that would stand out would be reduced turnover would be probably our biggest one. And that would directly relate to increased productivity. That would also increase increased sales. Um, because those are both direct factors. The other thing that we will be able to do is without having the high level of turnover is coming up, we have the advantage in that we can continue to improve our training efforts with our team because you're not having to retrain the basics over and over and over with new employees. You can then build upon the training that you've done. So we've already seen a little bit of it, but what I anticipate is especially on the leadership level and the people that we put through the workshop, we're going to see significantly less turnover because we've created a better comfort zone for them and they feel more comfortable in their role and their ability to fill a team to support them that meets their values and their company core. I would say probably the biggest thing that is important is finding somebody that is really going to get to know you and putting the time to get to know what you are trying to accomplish and what you are trying to look for. And when we went through the whole process, I remember just the thoughts that went through my head when we first rolled out that I had questioned whether this was the right decision for us and stuff at first because this wasn't something where, okay, well, somebody's going to hand you a book and you just need to follow this pilot. It was, there's going to be a lot of work involved in this. There's going to be a lot of things that we have to do. It's going to involve my taking the time away from, my business for an entire day to pretty much go out and separate. But after we had our first vision building day that we met together and you guys spent a good 8 hours to get to know me and the organization and what we were looking for. I was driving home and I felt like there was a real value there, that this isn't just something that somebody charges you a fee and hands out a cookie cutter thing, that this is something really built around us. Like I felt like I was the only client that you had and you were trying to establish your business based on that one client. So that was the big thing that I think to me then rolled into, okay, every amount of work that we have to put in on our end gets paid back in huge dividends. So, a lot of times people will look at this stuff and see the amount of work that is included and say, okay, well, this is a little bit daunting. This might be more work than I was initially looking to put in. And looking at it now in hindsight, as we've gone through the entire process, I wouldn't have changed a thing. It was, I think all that work we paid has really paid off. And the understanding is there. And pulling your entire leadership team out for an entire day's worth of training, it's not something that's cheap. It's not something that businesses do lightly. And you really want to see a real return on that investment. And this is one category where we really immediately saw a return on investment and have been happy and continuing to follow the things that have come out. It's been a couple months since we did that session and everything's stuck. I don't have to go back and revisit things and remind people or change processes. We're still doing the processes that we committed to when we walked out of that training, which means that my entire team sees value in it as well and is willing to do those things every single day to make sure they're finding the right candidates.